This conference will now be recorded.
We are discussing power pivot. In the power pivot today's class, I'll discuss about first a concept called cross filter direction. We'll discuss. There is a concept with the name called cross filter direction. We'll discuss about cross filter direction first. Cross filter direction. Let me show you what is that cross filter direction. Let's discuss. Open Power BI desktop. Once after opening Power BI desktop, I'll bring some tables to explain the cross filter direction. First, let's bring a few tables from SQL Server. Click on SQL Server, provide the server name, and database name is optional. Press OK. Go to product database, bring customers table, product table, and sales table. Click on load. Click on load. Now you will automatically get the relationships when you load the tables, right? Now you automatically got some relationships when you load the tables. I'll go and remove those tables and I'll create them. Select this relationships, delete them. Now I will create the relationships now to understand this topic, to understand cross filter direction topic. Okay, now observe here. I want to give the relationship between sales table and customers table, sales table and customers table, or else I want to give the relationship between product table and sales table. Go to manage relationships, click on new relationship. First select the product table, then select the sales table. We know how to select the tables. We know how to select the common columns. This is the common column here, product key and product key. And cardinality, we know how to choose the cardinality. In the product data table, product key is unique one. In the sales data table, product key is many time, many time. Now we know that it's a primary key here. In the product data table, it's a foreign key here. Um, so one to many cardinality. And if you see here, cross filter direction is there. This is what I am talking now. When I go to cross filter direction, there is single and both. Most of the time it will choose single only. I'll tell you when to go with single and when to go with both. First, if there is any possibility, we need to go with single only. If single is not working, then only we need to go with both. I'll tell you in what scenarios single will not work. When we need to go with both, I'll discuss. In the most of the scenarios, we'll go with single only. We'll go with what? Single only. Uh, in most of the scenarios, we'll go with single only. When to go with both, I'll explain. Most of the scenarios, as I said, we'll go with single. There are some cases where we need to go with both. First, I am going with single. Most of the scenarios, as I said, single itself is sufficient. Let me explain. Most of the times, as I said, single is sufficient. When to go with both, also we'll see. When to go with fine. I'm showing one more time. I want to give the relationship between product table and sales table. To give the relationship, we are going to manage relationship. Click on new relationship. Select the product data table and select the sales data table. Once after selecting the tables, select the common column, and between cardinality we need to choose it is one to many cardinality. In the product data table, product key is unique. In sales data table, product key is many times. And I'm talking about a topic called cross filter direction. In this cross filter direction, you have single. If possible, we need to go with single. Sometimes we need to go with both also. I'll tell you when to go with both. I'm going with single now. When I go with single, click on close. Remaining options go with default. Click on close. Now, if you see, you got a relationship between product data table and sales data table based on a common column called product key and product key. And what this one and star will tell us is one is cardinality. One to star means many. So product data side, product key is only once. Sales data side, star means many. And if you see the arrow mark direction, only single direction you have. Arrow mark direction, single direction. Why? Because the arrow mark direction is from product data table to sales data table. It is going towards product data table to sales data table. Why? Because we choose single here. Why? Because we choose the single. Okay. Now let me tell you what is the importance of this. Single means filter condition will pass from cross filter direction. We have single. Single means it will pass the filter condition from one side table to the many side table. One side table, it is passing the filter condition from one side table towards the many side table. So between look at here, I'll go and give the relationship between these two tables first. Go and click on a customers table and sales table. Go to manage relationship, click on new relationship between customers table and sales table. What is the common column here? Customer key, customer key. What is the cardinality again? One to many. In customer data table, customer key is unique. In sales data table, customer key is many time, one to many. And I said that most of the times cross filter direction will be single only. uh, so exceptional case we need to go with both. We will discuss today. For now I'm going with single again. That's okay. Click on close. Single means if you see in customer, you given a relationship based on customer key. In customer data side, customer key is unique. In sales data side, customer key is many times. And cross filter direction is single, only one direction you are saying, from customers table to sales table, one side table to many side table. When you choose single, it will pass the filter condition from one side table to many side table. Let's write that point. When you choose cross filter direction single, it will arrow mark direction will be from one side table to many side table. Single, I'll write and I'll explain, guys. When you choose single, filter condition will pass from filter will pass from one side table, one side table to many side table. To what? Many side table. Right. Okay, fine. Let's understand more about it. One side table to many side table. Here, as I choose single, arrow mark direction is from one side table to many side table. Arrow mark direction is one side table to what? Many side table. Now, what happens? Let me explain. What is the importance of this arrow mark is, now I'm showing product name by sales case. I'm showing product name by sales. When you are showing product name by sales, you will take the product name column from which table? You will take the product name column from product data table. When I go to product data table, you will take product name column, English product name. I want product name by sales. I want to take sales amount column from sales data table. Sales amount column from sales data table. When I take it, now you are getting all purpose bike stand is the product. How much sales it is telling? 5406. How it will calculate the sales value is, this is important. So first it will take one product here. For that product, what is the product it is showing? All purpose bike stands. All purpose bike stands. For that product, how it will calculate the sales is, for that product it will identify what? Product key. That product key will send from product data table to sales data table. Through this arrow mark is there, right? Through that arrow mark, it will send that product key to which table? Sales data table. To sales data table, it will send that arrow mark to the so for first product, what is the first product you have? For that first product, it will take product key. That product key will send from product data table to sales data table. It will filter that product key. For that product key, it will calculate sales. For that corresponding product key, it will calculate what? Sum of sales. I already discussed that. Sum of sales. Let's see. English product name is there. uh, what is the first product name? You have all purpose bike stand. It will go to here. In the product table, it will choose all purpose bike stand. For all purpose bike stand, it will take the product key. What is the product key? 486. That 486 will send through this arrow mark. Through this arrow mark, that 486 will send here. That 486 will filter in which table now? Sales data table. Go to the sales data table and go and filter product key 486 here. Number filters equals to 486. When I go and filter 486 here, it was there for 34 times. That 486 product was sold. Product key was sold 34 times. So each time it was sold, how much is 159 is the sales amount. 159 is there for 34 times. So 34 times when you add 159, it will come to how much? 5406. That is how it will calculate. So how this arrow mark direction will help us is, for each product, it will take product key. That product key will send to sales table. It will filter. It will calculate sales values for that. That is the way it will show product wise sales. Same way here also. When I want to show customer wise sales, it will take each customer. For that customer, it will take what? Customer key. That customer key will send from customers table to sales table. That customer key will be filtered here. So direction. That customer key will filter in the sales table. For that customer key, it will calculate what? Sum of sales. It will calculate sum of sales. Now, in the scenario, to show product wise sales, single is sufficient. To show customer wise sales, single is sufficient. Single is sufficient. So in your projects, 99% single is sufficient. Single will filter the data. Filter will pass from one side table to many side table. There is in the cross filter direction, you have something called both also. Let me explain when we need to go with both. When we need to go with what? Both. When we need to go with both, let's understand now. When we need to go with both is, to explain the both, I'll bring few more tables here. Click on get data, carefully observe. Excel, I'll bring some more tables. Power BI material, Power Pivot, Power Pivot source files. In the Power Pivot source file, there is one Excel file with the name called EMP cross filter direction. I'm taking this Excel. Click on open and select EMP table, DEPT table, and managers table. I'm selecting the tables. Click on load. Click on load. Fine. Now you'll get relationships you are not getting. We need to establish the relationships here. Now let's go and establish the relationships here. So easiest way is drag the department number on department number. You got the relationship here, or else, and drag, or else you can go and establish the relationship. How to establish the relationship between DEPT table and EMP table is, go to manage relationship. Click on what? New relationship. Select DEPT table and select EMP table. What is the common column? Department number. What is the cardinality? In the DEPT table, department number is unique. In the employee table, department number is many times, one to many. What is the cross filter direction? Single. Remaining options go with default, single. So most of the times you'll have single only. First I'm going with single itself. When I go with single, single means it will pass the filter condition from which table to which table? One to many side. One to many side is the arrow mark direction. One to many side. Okay. Now I want the same thing here. Each manager, I want to establish the relationship here. Go to manage relationship. Click on new relationship. This time between manager table and employee table. And what is the common column is MGR. Now, what is the cardinality is, in the manager table, manager number is unique. In the employee table, manager number is multiple times. One to many cardinality. And what is the cross filter direction again? Single. Single means when I press OK, when I close, single means it is passing the filter condition from one side table to where? Many side table. Okay. Now you look at this design. This design is important here. Okay. Now take these three tables. I'm going to explain what is the necessity of both. Now I'll create with these three tables, I'll create three visuals. I'm going to report view. I'm taking a new page. I'm going to create three visuals here. One visual, I'm taking a table visual. I'll go and drag all the employees. In the table visual, I'll go and drag what? All the employees. Go and drag the employee name. You can see all the employees. How many employees are there? How many employees are there? 15 employees are there. Uh, Now the next one is I'm taking another visual. Into the another visual, I'm going to drag which column? I'm going to drag uh, location or department name, whatever it is. I'm creating this visual using DEPT table. You take an only location here, DEPT table location. And lastly, I'll go and create another visual where I'll go and drag manager name column. Which column I'll drag here? Manager name. Manager name is available in manager. Simple. You created three visuals. First visual you created using which table? DEPT table. Only location. Second visual you created using what? Employee table, only employee name. Third visual you created using what? Manager table, manager name. Now, when I go and click on any location, I'm clicking on New York. When I click on New York, this is showing only the employees who are working in New York. How many employees are working in New York? Three. How it is filtering is when I just click on New York, it is showing New York related employees. How it is filtering is in the DPT table, it will take which location? New York. For that New York, it will identify what? Department number. That department number will pass to where? Employee table. This through this arrow mark, it will pass and it will filter the department number and it will show the list of employees. Let's check it now. So, what is the first location you click on here? New York. When I go and click on New York here, when I go and click on New York here, it is showing Clark, King, and Manager. What it will do is, it will go to DEPT table. It will go and take the location called New York. For New York, what is the department number? 10. The 10 will pass to which table? Employee table. The 10 will pass to the employee table. It will filter 10. 10th department, how many employees are there? Clark, King, Miller. Yes or no? Three employees. Is it showing the three employees only? When I go and click on New York, it is. How it is working is through this relationship, when I select department number or when I select any location, how it is able to show is using this relationship and direction, it is showing corresponding employees. Corresponding employees. Even when I go and click on Dallas, Dallas, how many employees are there? Five employees. When I go and click on Chicago, six employees are there. It is filtering. Comfortably, it is filtering. In the same way, when I go and click on any manager here, let's say I'm going and clicking on a manager called what? Ford. Under Ford, how many employees are working? Only one employee. Let's check it. Manager is Ford. Now go to managers table. Manager is what? Ford. Ford manager number is how much? 7902. 7902 will pass from manager table to employee table. 7902 will pass. 7902. 7902 it will filter in the employee table and what are the employees we have it will show. 7902 when I go to employee table, when I go to manager number 7902 is available for whom? Only Smith. Only Smith. Now if you go and click on Ford, it is showing only what? Smith. Why? Because for Ford manager is Smith. When I go and click on Jones, Ford and Scott. Jones is the manager. Jones is the manager for whom? Ford and Scott. How it will do? It will go to the manager table. Jones. This time you are taking what? Jones. Jones manager number is what? 7566. That 7566 will pass to which table? Employee table. 7566 will pass to employee table. In the employee table, it will filter in manager number column 7566. When I select this, when I press, who are the employees? Ford, Scott. If you go and see Ford, Scott, you are seeing or not. Like this, that single is helping. So how, when I just click on Jones, how we are able to show Jones related employees is using the relationship. You have a relationship between, this is manager table, this is employee table. You have a relationship. That relationship is filtering. When I click on New York, how it is showing only New York employees is this is the DEPT table. This is the employee table. You have a relationship. That relationship is passing on direction. Now, my requirement is when I go and click on New York, you are perfectly showing how many employees are working in the New York. But I want to show only New York location managers. So for these three employees, who are the managers I need to see? So for Clark, King, and Miller, who are the managers I need to see? When I go and click on Dallas, Dallas, how many employees are there? Dallas, five employees are there. Dallas, five employees. When I go and click on Dallas, Dallas is having which department number? 20. The 20 will pass to which table? Employee table. Employee table 20 will filter. When I filter 20, how many employees are there? Uh, Five employees are there. How many employees are there? Is five employees. For that five employees, how many managers are there? Is only four. One, two, three, four. Only four managers are there. Here, I need to see only four managers. But it is showing how many managers now? Six. So remember, when I go and click on Dallas, Dallas have how many employees? Five employees. But Dallas have only four managers. I want to show only that four managers. Why you have four managers is one of the manager. If you see this 7566, Ford also same manager, Scott also same manager. So one manager, second manager, third manager, fourth manager. Five employees have how many different managers? Four managers. Now my requirement is when I go and click on Dallas, it need to show five employees here. It need to show only four managers here. But it is showing how many managers now? Six managers. Someone tell me why it is not showing four managers, why it is showing six managers? Right. What you are trying to do is you are trying to select a location here. Which location you selected? Dallas. Dallas have which department number? 20. The 20 department number passes to which table? Employee table. It filtered the 20th department. It shows how many employees? How many employees? Five employees. But in the manager table, I need to show only four managers, but it is not showing. Why? Someone tell me. Why it is not filtering the data in the manager table? Why it is not showing only the employee related manager numbers? Why? Why it is not filtering is because of this arrow mark direction. Because of what? Arrow mark direction. Now filter condition can pass from manager table to employee table only, but not from employee table to manager table. Now our requirement is when I go and click on Dallas, I not only want to filter the data in the employee table, I want to even filter the data in the manager table also. Manager table also. That means when I click on Dallas, Dallas related filter it need to pass to employee. From there filter condition need to pass to where? Manager. Now tell me, is the filter condition passing from employee table to manager table or manager table to employee table? Manager table to employee table. So when it is single, it will be always from one side table to where? Many side table. But this time I need to pass the filter condition from many side table to what? One side table also. Many side table to what? One side. Then you need to go and choose both now. You need to choose what now? Both. How to choose both is go to manage relationship, select the relationship between employee and manager, click on what? Edit and go and choose what here? Both. When I go and choose both, when I press OK, when I click on close, now go and check it here. Now when I go and click on Dallas, it is showing how many employees now? Five employees. It is showing how many managers now? Four. It got filtered or not? Filter. Now, simple guys. Now, when I go and select any location, that location related filter it will pass to employee table. From there, even the filter condition will pass to which table? Manager table. You selected what? Both. You selected what? Both. When to select both is whenever we need to select the filter, whenever we need to pass the filter condition from many side table to one side table. Whenever we need to pass single will pass only from where? One side table to many side table. Whenever we need to pass filter condition filter condition from many side table to one side table, many side table to one side table, we need to take what? We need to use both. We need to use both. Cross filter direction both. Single will pass filter condition from one side table to many side table only. But there are sometimes you have a requirement where we need to pass the filter condition from where? Many side table to one side table. Then we need to use what? Then we need to use both. Now when I use both, it is passing the filter condition from one side table to many side table as well as many side table to one side table, both directions, both directions. Now another requirement is when I go and click on any manager, I'm clicking on a manager called Blake. Uh, when I click on Blake, it is filtering the Blake related employees, but it is not filtering the locations. If you see, when I go and click on clerk, how many employees I have? Only one employee. So when I go and click on clerk, when I go and click on a manager called Clark, when I go and click on a manager called Clark, in the DEP table, in the manager table, I click on a manager called Clark. Clark is, what is the number? 7782. Go to the employee table, filter 7782. 7782. How many employees are there? Miller. Miller is working in which department? 10. Okay, you are showing Miller correctly. So that Miller related location I need to show. Miller is working in which location? New York. It need to show New York, but it is not filtering. Why? When I click on Clark, you are showing Miller. I want to show only Miller related working locations here, but it's not filtering. Why it's not filtering? It is passing the filter condition from manager table to employee table, but it's not passing the filter condition from employee table to department table. We have cross filter direction what here? Single means only DEPT table to where? Employee table. But you want to even pass from employee table to where? DEPT table. What you need to do? You need to change cross filter direction to both. Where you can change? Manage relationship. Select this relationship. Click on edit. Go and change the cross filter direction to what? Both. Press OK. When I change it to both, you'll see arrow mark direction in both directions. Now go and select Clark guys. When I click on Clark, Clark is a manager for what? Miller. Miller is working in which location? New York. Is it filtering or not? It is filtering, right? So like this, there are some times you have a requirement. So most of the times when you pass the filter condition from one side table to many side table, 99% we can achieve our requirement. There are worst cases where we need to pass the filter condition from many side table to one side table also. That time you need to choose what? Both. Right. So I clearly written here. So this is cross filter direction, guys. When to go with single, when to go with both. Mostly we'll, if possible, we need to complete the work with single only. When you keep both, performance will degrade. But there are some exceptional cases we need to go with both. Now what my client is asking is, my client is asking when I select, what my client is asking when I select any manager, I not only want to filter employee table, I need to filter DEPT table also. That time you need to go with both. Whenever I select a location, I not only want to filter employee, I want to even filter managers also. Then must and should you need to go with what here? Both. You need to go with both. So if requirement is there, then only you need to go with both. Otherwise, don't go with both, guys. That's about cross filter direction, single and both. And the next topic, once after cross filter direction, I'll talk about a cardinality called many to many cardinality. What is that? Many to many cardinality. So I'll explain what is this many to many cardinality, between what kind of tables you'll have many to many cardinality. I'll go and bring some tables here to explain many to many cardinality. Click on get data, click on Excel. I'm bringing it from Power Pivot source files, and there is one Excel file with the name called what? Many to many. Click on open. Many to many. I'll use two tables: cars produced table, cars sold table. Two tables are there. One table name is cars produced. Second table name is cars sold. I'll load the table. I'll show you the data. Click on load. I'll show you the data. Now you have two tables. One is cars produced, second one is cars sold. Try to understand. I will use these two tables to explain many to many cardinality. So my company is producing the cars and my company is selling the cars. In the cars produced table, what are the cars my company is producing? We are storing in the cars produced table. So each car, take this as car name. What is the car name? A car. In each year, how many units produced you have? A car in the 2015 year, we produced 1500 units. A car in the 2016 year, we produced 2000 units. Next, B car in the 2015 year, we produced 25. B car in the 2016 year, we produced 3000. Like this, car wise, year wise, units produced. car wise, year wise, units produced. And in the same way, you have a table called what? Car sold table. In the car sold table, you have car wise, year wise, units sold. A car in the 2015, 1000 units sold. A car in the 2016, 1500 units sold. Totally, a car was sold how many units means? 25 units, 2500 units. A car how many units produced means? A car how many units produced means 35 units. 3500 units was produced. Now, my client is asking to create a visual to show uh, uh, each car how many units produced. Each car how many units produced. I'm taking one column chart for now. In the column chart, car wise units produced. I'll drag ID of car. I'll drag units produced. I'll go and enable the data labels. I'm able to show a car is producing how many units? General, effects, at the visual border. A car is producing how many units? 3500. B car is producing how many units? 5. If you go and check it, you can see cars produced. A car is producing 3.5. B car is producing 5.5. 5500. C car is producing 7500. If you go and see, C car is producing how much? 7500. Perfect. You have it. Car wise units produced. Now my client is asking to show car wise units sold. To show car wise units sold, take another column chart. Now go to which table is car sold table. ID of car and what? Units sold. Copy format painter, paste it. A car sold how many units? 25. Go to the car sold table. A car was sold how many units? 25. Is it showing correctly? Yes. A car was produced how many units? 35. A car was sold how many units? 25. Now my requirement is I need to show here. I need to show here. I don't want to show in two visuals produced and sold. In the same visual, I need to show. In the single visual, I need to show a car, how many units produced, beside that, how many units sold. Beside that, what I need to show? How many units sold. A car was produced, how many units? 3.5. How many units sold? 2.5. In the single visual, like this, I want to see. Once after A, I need to see what? B car. B car, how many units produced? 5.5. How many units sold? 4.5. That I need to show here side by side. In the single visual, I want to show ID, units produced, units sold. How many visual tables I need to use? Two tables. Now I am going to take a clustered column chart to show that kind of result. I'm taking a clustered column chart. In the clustered column chart, my requirement is I'm taking a clustered column chart now. In the clustered column chart, my requirement is I'm going to cars produced table. I'm dragging ID of car. I'm dragging units produced. So now it is showing car wise units produced. Car wise units produced. A car, how many units produced? 3.5. It is correct. Below that units produced, I need to show, beside that, I need to show units sold. For showing units sold, I need to go to our car sold and drag the unit sold. When I go and drag the unit sold, now go to format, go to format, go to visual, go to data label, show one decimal place. Go to the values, show value decimal places one. If you see a car, light blue color is units produced. Units produced is how much? 3.5. Units sold is how much? 22k. It is telling 22k. It's a wrong number. B car, it is telling that units produced is 5.5, but units sold is 22k. Now units sold is showing wrong. It want to show 4.k here, 4.5, but it is showing 22k. For every car, units sold is showing 22k, but units produced is showing correctly. Someone tell me what will be the reason here? Car wise units produced showing correctly, but units sold is showing wrongly. What is the reason? What is the reason? When you see the same number, same fact value for every dimension value, what is the meaning?
There is no relation.
There is no relation. There is no what? Relation. If you see cars produced table and cars sold table, do you have any relationship here? No, now you are trying to create a visual. You created a visual. You take an idea of car from the cars produced table, units produced from the cars produced table. As they are in the same table, they can filter the data. They can show the data. Car wise, units produced, it is showing perfectly right. Why? Because they are from same table. In the same table, it can filter the data easily. Now you take in unit sold from which table? Another table. When you take unit sold from another table, when it can filter is only when you have what? Relationship. Only when you have relationship, then only it will filter. Otherwise, it will not filter. Right? The same way, I'll recreate another visual. This time, in this first visual, in this first visual, unit sold is showing wrongly. I'll go and create second visual here. What is the second visual I'll create is, I'll take same clustered column chart. This time in the second clustered column chart, what I'll try to do is, I'll go and drag idea of car from car sold, units sold from car sold, and units produced from, copy the format painter for now, paste it. I want to drag units produced from this table. Now go to the format, go to the data labels, go and show values, two decimal places here. Now if you go and look at here, if you look at here, in the second visual, uh, car wise, units sold is light blue color, units produced is dark blue color. Units sold it is showing correctly. Now show one decimal place. Units sold is showing correctly, but units produced is showing how much? 26k. 26k. Everywhere same number. Now this time what happens? From car sold, I take ID of car, I take unit sold. As these are in two table, same table, car wise unit sold it is showing correctly. Why? Because both are from the same table, it can filter. But units produced you are taking from another table, it is not filtering. Why? Because no relationship. Why? Because no relationship. In these two visuals, in the first visual, car wise units produced showing correctly. Why? Because you are taking from the same table. But in the second visual, car wise units sold showing correctly, but units produced showing wrongly. Why? Because you take this two from same table, it take another table. Right. So in order to see correct data here, we need to give what here? Relationship. We need to give the relationship. So based on what? Idea of car. Based on idea of car. See, you are showing the data what? A car, how many units produced? I need to filter the data here also what? A car, how many units sold? I need to filter. So that means I need to give the relationship based on idea of car. To give the relationship. Now, when I go to idea of car here is unique or duplicate. Many times, two times you have. Two times. Even in the cars produced table, it is unique or one time, many time. Now I want to give the relationship. Go to manage relationship. Click on the new relationship between which two tables? Cars produced table and what? Cars sold table. Based on a common column, idea of car and idea of car. And we need to choose the cardinality. What this time? Many to many. In the cars produced table, idea of car is many time. In the car sold table, idea of car is many time. We need to go with what? Many to many. And here you have options single as well as both. Carefully observe. I'll ask some questions here. Uh, I'm going with first single. First I'm going with single. I'll come back to both. When I go with single cars produced filter what? Car sold. What is the one I'm choosing? Single. Pass the filter condition from cars produced to car sold. Press OK. Close. Now you got the relationship. You got the relationship. But so star star means what? Many to many. You asked to pass the filter condition only in one direction. From where to where? Cars produced to car sold. Cars produced to car sold. Now you tell me you already created two visuals using this. First visual, take this as visual 1. Second visual, take this as visual 2. I have a question for you here. Just carefully observe. In the visual 1, you take an idea of car from cars produced, units produced from cars produced, units sold from cars sold. Okay, this is the visual 1. So second visual, what you have done? Idea of car from cars sold, units sold from cars sold, units produced from cars produced. Now you establish the relationship here. Previously, visual 1 and visual 2 both are showing wrong data. If you remember, previously visual 1 and visual 2 both shows what data? Wrong data. Now I have a question here. You got a relationship now. Now will both the visuals will show correct data, or only any one visual will show correct data is my question. Previously, as there is no relationship, both visuals show wrong data. Fine. Now that is the reason you establish what? Relationship. And you have a cross filter direction single from cars produced to cars sold. Now my question is, will both the visuals show correct data, or only one visual will show correct data? Look, understand carefully and answer it. So will both the visuals show correct data, or only one visual will show correct data? If it is only one visual, which visual will show correct data? Answer
The
guys.
visual one
Online.
will visual
Which
one.
one? Visual 1
Visual
will show
one.
correct data, visual 2 will show wrong data. That's your answer, right? Now let's go and check. So here, so visual 1 is showing correct data. A car, units produced, how much, units sold, how much. But when you go to the second visual, it is showing A car, units sold correctly, but still units produced is showing wrongly. Why it is showing wrongly? You have a relationship, right? But in the second visual, what you have done is you take an idea of car from here, units sold from here, units produced from here. When the units produced, it can filter is, if it can pass idea of car filter from cars sold to cars produced, then only it will filter. Now the direction is from cars produced to cars sold. It's not from cars sold to cars produced. So here direction, one more time direction. So here as it is single, now if I go to manage relationship, if I go and click on edit relationship, this time I'm going to second option, single. I'm passing the filter condition from where? Car sold to cars produced. When I go and pass the filter condition car sold to cars produced, the arrow mark direction got changed now. It is passing from where? Car sold to cars produced. Now which one will filter? Only visual 2 filter, visual 1 is showing wrong data. It is wrong. It is filtering. Now here A car unit sold is 25, units produced is 35. It is showing correctly. Why? Because I can pass the filter condition from cars sold to cars produced. If you want to see both the visuals correct data, you need to select cross filter direction. What here? Go to manage relationship, select this relationship and click on edit. You need to select both. When I go and select both, when I go and click on close, now go and check both visuals are showing correct data. A car, units produced is 35, units sold is how much? 25. It is showing correctly, right? So we discussed when to go with many to many cardinality here also. There are some times where we need to choose the many to many cardinality. So sometimes single is sufficient. Sometimes, let's say you have only first visual, you don't have second visual. If you want to show only in the first visual, single is sufficient. Go to manage relationship, select this, click on edit. So single from cars produced to cars sold, cars produced to cars sold. So I pass a direction single, cars produced able to what? Cars sold. I'm able to show in single visual each car wise units produced and units sold or not. Yes or no? Each car wise, a car, how many units produced? You show. How many units sold? You show. Right? So this time the cardinality is what here? Many to many. Many to many. Right. We even understand many to many cardinality also. So in the older days, there is no many to many cardinality, guys. Many to many cardinality, even it will give less performance. First point is, in the older days, okay, now in Power BI, how many types of cardinalities we have in Power BI now? Four types. When I double click on it, you can see how many types? Four types. One to many, one to many to one, and many to many. Four types. In the older days, when Power BI released initial days, there is no what? Many to many cardinality. When there is no many to many cardinality, how we are able to get the result? So when many, if many to many cardinality is there, you are giving the relationship, you are able to get it. In the older days, we don't have many to many cardinality. We don't have many to many cardinality. How we manage that time? How we manage is, when many to many is not there, we can still manage. How we can manage is using many to one. There is many to one you need to use, and one to many you need to use. One to many. Understand? In the older days, when many to many cardinality is not there, you need to go with what? Many to one, one to many. So this one will be removed and you'll get what? Many to many. So they will ask you in the interview, guys. In the older days, when many to many is not there, how you manage to show these results? How you manage to show these results? They'll ask you, right? So they're expecting. They given the two tables. Once after giving the two tables, what they're asking me to show is they're asking me to show idea of car wise units produced and units sold. Idea of car they're asking to show, and they're asking to show units produced, and they're asking to show what? Units sold. Uh, if you want to create the visual using these two tables, you need to establish what? Relationship based on a common column called what? Idea of car. But idea of car is what here? Many. Here also what? Many. But unfortunately, in the older days, you don't have what? Many to many cardinality. When many to many cardinality is not there, I said that we need to manage with what? Many to one, one to many. It is important, guys. Here will come one concept called bridge table. Here will come one concept called what? Bridge table. So between these two tables, we need to have one bridge table. Understand? So bridge table, that in the bridge table you need to have unique IDs. In the bridge table you need to have what? Unique IDs. When you have unique IDs, you will link these two tables based on many to one. You will link these two tables based on one to many. Understand? Between cost produced table and cost table. Now, I said that in the older, if many to many is there, it is easy. I'm just going to give the relationship based on these two tables. Uh, Based on a cardinality called many to many, I'm selecting cross filter direction both. I can show, uh, I can take one visual now. I can show idea of car, units produced, units sold easily. Okay, I can take idea of car, I can take units produced, I can take units sold. I'm able, I take clustered column chart. I can show the numbers easily. Why? Because there I have an option called what? uh, Many to many cardinality I shown it, but I said that in the older days, to get this kind of results, to get that kind of results, what you guys need to do is delete this. You need to go and create one new. I said that when many to many is not there, you need to go with what? Many to one and one to many. So s- uh, you need to create one bridge table here. In the bridge table, you need to have unique car IDs. What you need to have? Unique car IDs. Unique. Then you will link this table ID. What is the cardinality? Many to one. You need to link this ID. What is the cardinality? One to many. With this combination, you are able to show idea of car, units produced, units sold. Let me show you now. Now, I want to create a bridge table here. In the older days, when there is no many to many cardinality, I said that we need to go with many to one and one to many. So you need to create one bridge table with what? Unique IDs. So how can you create the bridge table here is, you can create the bridge table with cars produced or cars sold. See, you need to have one bridge table which need to have unique IDs. Unique IDs. So tell me that unique IDs you need to have cars produced table or cars sold table. So which one will have more IDs? Cars produced will have more IDs or cars sold? Cars produced. First it will come into the cars produced, then only it will come into the cars sold. Recommended to create the bridge table using what? Cars produced. Why? Because there are chances that in the cars produced we will have more IDs than what? Cars sold. Now how to create the bridge table is, you many ways might be there. You go to power query, and you need to go to cars produced table, right click on it. You need to reference the table. I discussed in power query, I discussed what is the reference. What is the reference? Duplicate and reference I already discussed in the power query. I reference the table. Once you reference the table, this is the bridge table. Right click on it, rename bridge table. Now I don't want other columns. I want only idea of car. Select the idea of car, remove other columns. Remove other columns. Now you have only idea of car. In the idea of car, I need to have unique IDs. How to get the unique IDs? Right click on it, remove duplicates. What? Remove duplicates. You have unique IDs or not? This is how you need to create the bridge table. I'm repeating the steps. We are planning to create Bridge table using what? Cars produced. So tomorrow any new ID is added here, it need to get into the bridge table. When a new ID is added, if it need to get to the bridge table, automatically you need to do the reference. You need to do what? Reference. Right click on cars produced, you go and do the reference. You right click on it, rename this table. Why I am doing reference is, tomorrow any new ID added here, it will automatically need to come to where? Bridge table. This is the bridge table. Right click, rename, go and give bridge table. Bridge table. Now in the bridge table, I want only ID of car column. I don't want it. Right click on it, remove other columns. Remove other columns. Now ID of car is there. I want to have unique values. Right click on it, remove duplicates. Now close it. Click on close it. Now you will get one bridge table now. Yes or no? You are getting the bridge table now. Now in this bridge table, now go and give the relationships here. Now when I go and give the relationship here, ID of car, what is the cardinality? What is the cardinality? Cars produced on bridge table, ID of car, ID of car. When I give the cardinality, what is the cardinality you'll get?
Many to one.
Many to one. Many to one. In the cars produced table, ID of car is what? Many. In the bridge table, ID of car is what? Only one. Now, when I go and give the relationship here, what is the cardinality? One to many.
One to
One
many.
to many. This time I'm using many to one and what? One to many. Now go and try to create the visual using these two tables. Now here still it is not showing the correct data. I created a visual. I'll replicate again. I'll repeat again. Now I'm dragging ID of car from cars produced table, cars produced table, units produced from cars produced table. Till here it is showing correctly. Car wise units produced. But when I go and drag units sold, it is showing wrongly. Why it is showing unit sold is showing wrongly? You have a relationship, but it's still showing wrongly. How unit sold is showing wrongly? uh, so how it is showing wrongly is, now you need to pass this idea of car filter from cars produced to bridge first, from bridge to car sold next. So now if you see this arrow mark direction, it is not passing till bridge table. Idea of car is units produced is there in same table, it will filter. But unit sold is there in where? Another table. So first you need to pass idea of car filter to the bridge table. From the bridge table you need to pass to car sold table. From bridge table car sold table direction is there, but from cars produced table bridge table there is no direction. Direction is from bridge table to cars produced. You need to give like this. Whenever we need to pass the cost filter direction from many side table to one side table, you need to choose both here. You need to choose what here? Both. Go and double click on this relationship, go and choose both here. When I go and choose both, now the filter condition will pass from cars produced to bridge, from bridge to car sold. Now will you see correct data in the visual? 100% you will see correct data in the visual. Now a car, how many units produced, how many units sold, you are able to show it here. Like this, we need to pass the filter condition. So when interview, a common interview question they'll ask you is, in the older days we don't have many to many cardinality, how you used to manage? So we used to manage with what? Many to one, one to many. Here they'll ask, when, in what scenarios you created the bridge table. So we created one bridge table here with unique IDs. Now, which one will give better performance means, many to many will give better performance, or this will give better performance means this will give better performance. So even they will ask you in the interviews, many to many will take more time when compared to many to one and one to many. So out of this, which one will give better performance means the second one will give better performance. In that scenario, we'll go with what? Bridge table. Go to the video, listen to the video multiple times. Here two important questions is about many to many cardinality and bridge table, and cross filter direction both also. So when to go with cross filter direction both, they will ask you. You need to tell that whenever we need to pass the filter condition from where? Many side table to one side table, will go with cross filter direction both. I given a lot of examples here, guys. You can clearly understand, go through it. Today I discussed two topics. One is cross filter direction single and both. Second one is what? Many to many cardinality. Third one is what? Bridge table. Right. Now